r/ask Reddit. What's a real fact that some people don't want to accept? Not everyone is going to like you. You can't please everyone. You could be the most juicy and delicious orange in the entire history of the world, but you will still find someone who just doesn't like oranges. When it comes to arguing, stating facts rarely change people's minds. Nothing really changes anyone's mind. I can't even imagine what it would take to change somebody's mind when it comes to politics or religion. Especially not a few facts said in an argument. It takes people years to change from liberal to conservative or the other way around. There's a reason it's a basic rule of good company to not discuss politics or religion. Your actions have consequences. Being right about one thing doesn't make you right about everything. Also the inverse. But you were wrong about this one thing, so now you can't be trusted for anything. If I could have one single wish made true, it'd be making my parents understand this concept. Life isn't fair, and sometimes bullcrap happens for no reason when you did nothing wrong. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. Also, someone winning does not mean you are losing. You can both win. Everybody thinks they are the hero of their story, even the villains. I always considered myself as a side character. Everyone will die eventually and it more than likely won't be on their terms. One thing I sometimes think about is the fact that almost no one wakes up in the morning and thinks, yep, today's the day that I'm going to die, yet it happens all the time anyway. No zebra ever gets up and thinks I'm going to get ripped to pieces by a lion today, no matter how often it happens to other zebras. Just because you're shouting doesn't mean you're correct. Most people think they're slightly more intelligent than the average person. They're not, myself included. This realization hit me hard as a young college kid. I was one of those big fish, small pond kids when it came to academics. Got to college and learned that real ducking fast. Things don't get better if you don't try to make them better. Hard work does not equal high performance. A lot of time leads to failure and then more failure. Go to learn to fail forward and not give up. This is graduate school in a nutshell. Specifically in science, learning to be okay with failure is probably the hardest lesson I've had to learn. You're supposed to use your turn signal anytime you make a turn or change lanes. Not only that, the turn signal is to tell people your intent to change lanes, so you should use it before you turn. There's this big club, and you ain't in it. I wouldn't care to be in a club that accepts people like me anyway. People don't dislike you because you're honest. They dislike you because you're an a-hole. Mayo, I felt this one. I'd always believed that being straightforward and refusing to pretend to like someone was the only right way to do things, and that when people would hate me for it, it was because I was honest about them. Turns out that's not how it always works, and you can't always justify being an a-hole to people claiming you're just being frank with them. I'm still pretty rude sometimes, but I'm working on it. Comes with experience, I suppose. Many people don't wash their hands in the bathroom unless they see someone else in the bathroom. Being a rep for an MLM does not mean having your own business. Also, it's impossible to make even minimum wage as an MLM rep without exploiting at least someone. Just give it a try. Would a mutual friend who hasn't spoken to you since the 9th grade but messaged you on Facebook out of the blue lie to you? It doesn't make you a CEO either, so get that shit off your social media profile like you think you're someone important. We are all living in the most wonderful time in the history of the world. This is a hard fact for a lot of people to accept. They would much rather think the end times are coming than appreciate how much we as a species haven't overcome. We can certainly do more to improve ourselves as a whole, and it is our duty to do better. But right now is one of the best times in human history to be alive. Click farms and bot influencing are real. The number next to the view count like favorites shares is a line of code, not empirical fact. Trends are purchased. Being a jerk doesn't mean that you're being just honest or keeping it real or helping anyone. 99 out of 100. You're just being a jerk and the only person benefiting is you. People who are brutally honest are more interested in being brutal than honest. No one really thinks about you, so stop worrying about what other people think about you because they're most likely thinking about their own problems. the world isn't as simple as all the political and economic prodigy of Reddit believe. I'd go as far as to say that if your understanding of the opposing party makes them sound like comic book villains, you probably don't know as much about politics as you think you do. The average person is significantly less conscious and autonomous than we like to pretend. We are a unique species in that we have the mental potential to break free from our base animal instincts. That doesn't mean everybody, or even a majority, of people actually reach that potential. Everybody thinks they're immune to propaganda. We're not. Trolls don't hate you. They just try to stir you up to get a reaction. If anything, they're just bored people who sit behind a screen. People on the internet can't help but give a feed the troll, when in fact most of them would go away if you just ignore them. Budgeting is not difficult. It is basic math. Credit cards are not magic free money. They will eat you alive. Budgeting is not difficult. It's basic math. You just don't have any self-control. Meet to me daily. You shouldn't have a child if you can't afford or look after one. And that doesn't just mean money. You need to spend time raising a child, because otherwise, even though my uncle may disagree, you'll end up with kids that don't have any relationship at all with you. That not everybody is nice, or even capable of becoming decent people. Some people are just bad, and functioning psychopaths are all around us. Also, not all psychopaths are serial killers, and not all serial killers are psychopaths. America is not immune to uprisings, dictatorships, and the collapse of democracy. If we allow it, it can happen here just as it has happened in other countries. The only real reason it has never happened before is because we're such a young country. Almost every society in history has had some form of slavery. Edit. Slavery is still a real issue throughout Africa right now. Don't buy Nestle products. Edit 2. I'm not saying slavery is okay. It's wrong. There is modern day slavery all over the world and people should be aware of it. Edit 3. Slavery is a real issue throughout the world. Be woke, people. We have all a bad side, a side we don't want others to see, so we hide it away and put on a facade to cope with life. We are all getting older, all of us, all the time. You can fight it and you can make your face look like smooth plastic and your body look like a 12-year-old boy's with big tits, but that number is still only going to go in one direction. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.